chances are somebody has lied to you yesterday, today, and you'll probably get lied to tomorrow. Lying happens everywhere. It happens every day, all around us. There's really no way to avoid being lied to or lying to someone unless you avoid all human interaction. It can happen in the workplace with your coworkers, and it can also happen in your personal life with different relationships that you have going on. Now, today I'm going to give you a few tips on when to spot if somebody's lying to you. Now, according to Martin Dirksen, faculty of Behavioral and Social Sciences at the University of Groningen, there are 5 gestures displayed by a human's body language that indicate that they are lying. Now, the first gesture I want to state to you is rapid eye movement. Rapid eye movement is when the eyes are just darting across the room, looking at different inanimate objects, just basically doing anything they can to not make eye contact with you. This usually indicates that they're nervous, they feel guilty sometimes, and they don't want to look you in the eye. The second point I want to make is crossed arms. When somebody crosses their arms just like this, it's basically a sign that they're closing themselves off from you. They know what they're doing, they know what they're doing is wrong, and they want to get out of there as fast as they can. The third point that I want to make is the constant fidgeting. When somebody is moving their arms, they can't sit still, that's usually a sign that they're nervous. And people get nervous when they lie. I know that I am guilty of this, and I do fidget a lot when I lie. So that's another sign that you want to really watch out for. Now, the fourth one I want to make is when the eyes focus to the right side of the head. When in your brain, you have 2 different lobes. You have a left lobe and you have a right lobe. Your left lobe is the more logical side of your brain. This is what you use doing schoolwork, anything similar to doing homework that you got to really think about. The right side of your brain is the more creative side of your brain. This is what you use to paint, do any kind of artwork, anything really creative. This is the side of the brain that your brain will use to create the lie. So really watch. If the eyes shift to the right side, that's an indication that they're also lying. Now, the last one I want to make is when the legs are not firmly planted on the ground. This goes along with the constant fidgeting point that I made earlier. Can't sit still. They want to get out of there. They just want to leave. They can't sit still any longer. So they're going to keep their legs off the ground. It's a body gesture. It's an instinct pointing that they want to get out of the room. Now that you know how to detect someone's body language when they lie, I want to explain to you some different verbal cues that will also indicate that somebody is lying to you. According to Jeffrey Kluger, a senior writer at Time magazine and author of several different books, he states that there are certain verbal cues that you can pick up and also indicate that someone's lying, and they're the following. Now, the first verbal cue that I want to make to you is repeating the question. When you ask somebody a question and they are about to lie to you, they will repeat the question in a lot of cases, and this is just basically giving them time to create their lie. They are panicking, their mind is racing, and they need to buy some time. So they're buying time by asking you the question over again and then having you repeat yourself, and in hopes they are hoping that they will by then have an answer for you. A good lie to say. Now, the second point I want to make is giving more information than what is asked for. This goes along with the point I made earlier about being nervous. A lot of people, when they get nervous, ramble on about certain things. They can also be trying to get your mind off of what you really just asked them and what they said, and so they'll just say anything and everything. So be careful when somebody is just rambling about nothing. The third point I want to make is hesitating or stumbling. This also goes along with the nervous thing. It's just another sign, something that people do when they're nervous. They can start to stumble their words, they hesitate, they're just trying to think of what to say back to you. The fourth one is being defensive. A lot of people get defensive when they're paranoid. And they're paranoid because they're thinking in their head, does this person know that I'm lying to them? Are they going to find out that I'm lying to them? And it really makes them paranoid. And when people get paranoid, they can get on edge, they'll get angry with you, and just try to turn the situation around on you. And the last point I want to make about the verbal cue is being inconsistent with their stories. A lot of people say a lie, don't remember it, it will go out of their head as quick as it comes in. So you really want to be important when somebody's story isn't adding up. There's a lot of inconsistencies with it. That usually means that somebody is lying to you. Now, recognizing the physical traits someone exhibits when they're lying is very important. But I think that the most important thing that you have to, stick with when trying to figure out if somebody's lying to you is just trust your gut. You know best when you're being lied to. If you know the person on a personal level, then you can differentiate between their normal behavior and what's not normal to them. And if you think that they're not acting normal and you just have this gut feeling that you're being lied to, it's usually best to just trust your gut. So, according to Lauren Friedman, who is a staff editor at Psychology Today, she states that people lie on average 10 times a day. That's a lot of times to be lied to, and that's a lot of times to lie to someone. So chances are you could really use this a lot. And class, I challenge you to use the following tips that I gave you presented in your everyday life and really try to figure out if you're being lied to or not. After all, who wouldn't know if they're being lied to?